Hey, what's up, internet? What's up, everybody? I hope everyone is having a good day, enjoying themselves. So, I finally got my hands on the iPhone 12. It's white. This is a normal 12. This is not a 12 Pro Max, whatever. I'm not sure about all the models, the mini. This is a normal 12. They offer blue, black, white, green, and red. The red one is honestly really cool. So is the blue. Um, I would have rather got the red one, but this was what was available. One of the if you're having trouble choosing a color, consider the fact that black probably looks the sleekest because it's a uniform. It's black all around. Every black iPhone I've had has been really pleasing to the eye. White, it probably stays the coolest because white absorbs the least heat. So if you're worried about your phone overheating, white would probably be a good choice. The blue one is really cool. The red one is really cool. The green one, it looks about the same as this or the green iPhone 11. It's the normal seafoam green type of color. Well, not really. It's like a, anyways. Um, Another thing about that is, I I would avoid the white for one reason because it has this metal. I think they all have the metal around the edge, but this one's particularly like has a metallic finish. So it really reminds me of an iPhone 7. I don't like a 5 or a 6 or something. I don't remember, but the other ones, they look like a newer model. This one, even though it feels very nice and it holds and you can tell it's a quality product. It the silver outside edge to me is too much of a rewind. I would have rather had a white edge all around, just like the red and blue have a red and blue edge all around, and it looks to me a lot better. This looks old school. This looks played out to me with the metal edge, but it was all they had. So life goes on. Anyways, this is a Pixel 5. I'm a big fan. iPhones. If you know anything, if you're interested in smartphones, you know that the iPhone was one of the original smartphones besides the BlackBerry, and uh, it, if you honestly have a lot of bad things to say about the iPhone, then you're probably not that knowledgeable about smartphones. Just saying, because it if you use an iPhone for personal life or business, smartphone, iPhones are great. They're reliable. They're simple. They're easy to transfer. They're very powerful. They're good cameras. They've been around for a long time. The software is very smooth and reliable and consistent and predictable. If you need to take a phone into the city where you need to find a hotel and have your bills paid and have your money and have Uber and be able to navigate and search stuff, you're probably gonna want an iPhone. It's gonna be more predictable. It's gonna be more consistent with its searching and its switching and its all that location. Whereas Android, that's always been its kind of its weak point for me, is its reliability. No matter how much I love Google and love Linux and Android, going back all the way to like the Motorola backflip, it it's always been more of like a for fun OS, whereas this is like to me like a get it done, a worker's OS. Android, I haven't done much else besides customize my launcher and message social media. I just don't. It's always been cartoony to me, but I still love it. I love I love the Pixel phones. I love the Nexus phones. Before that, I had a couple phones, but I'm not a big fan of bloatware and of customized ROMs from the manufacturers. So, I've always used the Google phones, starting with the Nexus S, Samsung Galaxy Nexus, Nexus 5, Nexus 4. Oh no, this is Nexus 5. Oh no, this is Pixel. And then there's the Pixel 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's all Google's play on Apple's selling strategy of it's our hardware, it's our software. We designed them together to work together. Trust us, and it delivers. The iPhones have been great phones all along, and a lot of their software and programs on the computers are very respected in the production community and in a lot of communities. So uh, the biggest complaint I've had from pretty knowledgeable computer users about Apple is just how restricted it is and how they're very kind of like fascist or whatever. But that's fine. I mean, it's their product, and they don't and they deliver a good product. So, um, but that being said, uh, Android OS has progressed much faster. Um, Apple started strong, has stayed strong. Incrementally, it's gotten better. It's gotten more advanced. They've incorporated features from jailbreak builds all the way back to like whatever that one coconut thing was with the, where you could change your icons and the original multitasking before Apple had multitasking. And Android OS, it started as so much less, but at the same time it was so much more, and they've both borrowed from each other. This one's biggest weakness, I think, was creativity and freedom, customization, which they've definitely. I mean, if you had the original iPhone, you couldn't even have wallpapers. It was black. You could barely have a wallpaper on the front. You couldn't change icons. You couldn't change any of that. Themes, nothing, and still doesn't really have that. Whereas Android, right off the bat, you could change icons, you could change themes, you could change launchers, noises. It was fully. It's Linux. It's like the difference between Apple computers and Linux computers, which is, if you know the difference. So, but over time, Apple's gotten more. They've improved their weaknesses, and Android has gotten more reliable and more consistent and predictable and useful. But I still think, okay, so when I just had the iPhone 11 and the iPhone and the Pixel 5, and keep in mind there's no Pro models, there's no Max models, there's no XL models. This is a normal Pixel 5, this is a normal 12, and this is a normal 11 that's actually recording. When I had the 11 in the 5, the 11 has a LCD screen. This has OLED. This has, I believe, AMOLED. So these are technically nicer screens. LCD is a nice, if you know how to train your eye, LCD is a nice screen. It's easy on your eye. It's more subtle colors. The only thing is you need to get a high resolution, because if you get a low resolution like the iPhone 11 is a compromising phone. It has decent screen with a decent resolution, but I would have liked it more if I had a higher resolution with the LCD screen, because I kind of like the LCD screen better than the AMOLED and the OLED screens. They seem more natural to me. But that being said, when I had these two, the Pixel the Pixel has a really nice camera. I haven't even really been impressed by the 12 camera, because the macro and the different zoom, and you could just walk into a room and this will take a nice picture. The camera on the Pixel 5 is really impressive. The screen is nice. The build of the phone is nice. The texture, you can tell Google may have used some like recyclable texture that like morphs to your hand a little bit. It's got fingerprint. The Pixel 5 is super cool. Google is pretty much giving them away for $20 a month. You can finance them without a contract, without a plan. It comes with a Google Fi note card, so even if you don't have any type of carrier or service, you could activate it with Google Fi, which is like an unlimited pay-as-you-go. Google's on the right track. I love Google a lot. And Google, like I said, they're just helping people at this point. I respect that a lot. And shoot, they have all the money in the world, right? But so the Google, but I didn't want to use it that much, because I didn't want to get it broken or hurt. I don't have any screens for it, and this is like my main phone, the 11. And they're both green, which is funny. But so And I saw the 12 come out, and like I said, no Pro models, no Max models, no nothing. This is all standard 11, Pixel 5, iPhone 12. So, but once I got the 12, and I was afraid of this, the 12 might be nicer than the 5. The camera on the 5 is nicer. It's like it's like different phones. This is like a fun Google phone. It's like it'll just randomly have features that you don't expect and random little, kind of cartoony fun things. But like the 12, you hold it in your hand, you can tell it's quality. The glass on the 12 is really nice. The screen is really nice. The resolution is a high resolution. This has a higher resolution than the 11, but it's still not as nice of an appearance on the screen as the 12, as you'll see when I turn them on. The 12 screen is like, feels like you got your first iPhone. It feels like different than the rest of the phones out. You could tell Apple stepped it up with the screen and with the software and everything. So we'll do. You probably know which type of phone you want, but just to do some side-by-side comparison, we'll boot them up and show some boot times and what they look like operating next to each other. So I'll set this down. All right, so both phones have their startup screens, and Google's actually the Pixel's actually popped up first. Both power buttons pushed at the same time, but in case you can't already tell, okay, so that's pretty close. It looks like Apple's was a little bit quicker. I'm not gonna rush into the home screens, but we'll do full brightness. Both of them are on their factory settings in terms of color modes, so there's no like adapt. It's all stock factory settings of no adaptive colors, whatever it is. So see, right off the bat you can tell Google's screen, the Android screen, it's more budget. The Pixel is like it's supposed to be a balance, I think, of budget and performance now, whereas the Pixel 4 was more. The Pixel 4 actually feels kind of nicer in your hand. I'm sure it's still a really good phone, but you can tell the iPhone screen just looks more natural. The colors are more true. The brightness, it resonates better with your eyes. This unfortunately, the iPhone 12 screen makes the Pixel's 5 screen look cheaper. It looks like more of a Metro phone, or So in terms of apps, the Pixel's fast, no doubt. They're both quick. They're both